So recently someone asked about how to vibrate the powder in the powder drop on the Dillon presses. There were several suggestions made, one which was a water pump for an aquarium, small electric water pump, which on Amazon.com in the US, that little water pump is $5. Whereas on Amazon.ca in Canada, the same pump is $25. So for me, that was not viable. Another suggestion was to attach a battery-powered toothbrush to the side of the powder drop, which I thought was a good idea in the sense that it would probably provide sufficient vibration, but it would look kind of silly having a toothbrush on the side of your powder drop. So I went looking on Thingiverse, which is where a lot of people share their 3D designs, looking for some way to create a vibrator that I could attach to the side of the powder drop. Came up with this device, which someone designed to take the innards from the Oral-B Pulsar electric toothbrush, put it in here and have an on-off switch, which is this little part here, and creates a vibrator. Now I needed a way to attach that to the powder drop. So I looked further and I found someone had designed this clamp to put on the powder drop, and you could print the powder type on the clamp itself to identify the powder in the powder drop. So I took that device, took his plain model that didn't have anything on it, added this little square and these two clips here. This can serve to put an elastic or a piece of string or a wire to tighten it against the powder drop. Pop this guy in here, turn it on, and it vibrates. Now I got to disassemble this, put the components inside of this, and test it further. Now we're going to disassemble the electric toothbrush. Of course, these are child-proof packages that an adult cannot open. So we're going to resort to the opening tool. Well, I was having a bit of a difficulty getting this open. I pulled off the rubber coating, and as I was doing that, the bottom unscrewed itself. So now it's just a matter of extracting the electronics from inside. This is a throwaway battery device. Got to figure out how to get that out of there. There's two push down clips here. So after a little bit of probing, I actually had to pull the battery out by bending this little tab slightly. Once that battery was out, in this little hole here, I was able to push down on these two little tabs, which released the mechanism. Now, let's see if this is supposed to fit. It's a simple rocker. Oops. This should slip in here. Of course, you have to have the rocker down towards the two buttons. Battery. This cover, let's see if that's going to work. So it looks like, well, the battery's not making contact. So this has got to push on the battery. What that rocker does is actually pushes the battery back and forth. It's not an electrical disconnect. It just pushes the battery backwards. When you click on that, the battery should spring forward. Quite a bit of tinkering here. The issue is getting this little spring to push on the battery. It works. Now, put this in here. Now let's try it on the powder drop. Powder drop. Vibrates, I just don't know how well. Let's try something here. Since I'm not set up yet, I don't want to put powder in there, so I'm going to drop a couple of casings in there just to see if they rattle. Well, that doesn't seem to be working.